Rise with India podcast on ET Now.
Good morning. This is the ET Now Rise with India podcast. I'm your host Rohit. Let's quickly tell you about the big stories we're tracking this morning. The Union Cabinet has given a nod to increase the DIIs allowance of central government employees and DIIs relief of pensioners by 3%, taking it to 31% to compensate for the price rise. The move would benefit 47 lakh central government employees and 68 lakh pensioners. It would cost the exchequer 9,500 crore rupees per annum. India's domestic aviation sector is set to return to pre-COVID levels or even exceed it by the first quarter of 2022 on the back of low infections and high vaccination numbers, according to a top executive at Vistara. Unilever Global CEO Alan Yope has said that the Indian business is emerging stronger from the pandemic, but mobility and consumer sentiments remain below pre-pandemic levels. Pfizer and BioNTech have said that a booster dose of their COVID vaccine restored full production in a large study. The booster was 95.6% effective against symptomatic COVID in the study, according to the companies. The S&P 500 ended higher to a record close, extending the rally driven by strong earnings and optimistic jobs data. This is the 7th straight day of gains for the index. Data showed jobless claims fell to a new pandemic low last week. In the bond market, the yield on benchmark 10-year Treasury note edged up to 1.674%. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has imposed personal investing restrictions on senior officials. This is an effort to address a stock trading controversy that prompted the resignation of two Reserve Bank presidents recently. Back home, benchmark indices fell for a third consecutive day amid concerns over high valuations and impact of inflation on profits and recovery. A rally in banking shares helped offset some losses. In the last three sessions, the Sensex has declined about 850 points. The Nifty Mid-Cap 100 and the Nifty Small-Cap 100 indices, on the other hand, have plunged close to 6% in last 3 days. DIIs has sold shares worth about 9,000 crore rupees in the last 9 trading sessions. Yesterday, DIIs net bought shares worth about 428 crore rupees, while FIIs net sold shares worth about 2,800 crore rupees. Let's talk about some of the active stocks this morning. Rising oil prices have dented the performance of India's top paints company. Input cost inflation has hurt Asian Paints' profit during the quarter to September, even as the company posted strong volume growth. Revenue growth was strong at 33%, but a steep rise in raw material cost has hit realizations. JSW Steel has reported highest ever consolidated net profit of 7,200 crore rupees in the quarter ending September, up 350% against last year on increased revenue. The company also reported highest ever quarterly revenue from operations and highest ever quarterly operating EBITDA. TVS Motor has reported a 16% growth in profit for the September quarter as it clocked its highest ever revenue on the back of higher prices and improved exports. Indian Energy Exchange, or IEX, has reported a 70% jump in standalone net profit at 78 crore rupees for the September quarter as compared to 46 crore rupees a year ago. The company also recommended bonus issue in the proportion of 2:1. Zee Entertainment has told the Bombay High Court that its board would follow the advice to consider the demand of Invesco to consider an extraordinary general meeting. The court asked the parties to propose a date for the EGM as well as a person regarded as neutral to conduct the meeting. S&P Global has upgraded the credit rating of Tata Steel on the back of reassessment and expectations that parent Tata Sons will come to its rescue in times of financial stress. Lodha Group, listed as Macrotech Developers, is planning to raise up to 4,000 crore rupees through issue of securities. The company is looking to raise additional funds in one or more tranches. Separately, the company also reported a consolidated net profit of 222 crore rupees in the second quarter as against a net loss a year ago. L&T will be investing up to 5,000 crore rupees to adopt green energy into its manufacturing and construction sites to achieve carbon and water neutrality targets by 2040. Amazon has filed another petition in the Supreme Court to stay the order of NCLT that had allowed Future Retail to convene meetings of shareholders and creditors to seek approval on sale proposal to Reliance Retail. GAIL India is in process of procuring a 10 megawatt electrolyzer, the largest in India. A global tender has already been floated, according to Chairman Manoj Jain. Indian Hotels has approved a 4,000 crore rupee fundraising plan. It announced that it will buy balanced shares in Root Corporations, which operates the Ginger brand. According to news reports, Tata Chemicals is considering selling its US soda ash business. The company is in early talks about the potential disposal as it seeks $1 billion or more for the asset. Tata Chemicals has reached out to private equity firms and some industry groups to gauge interest. Reliance Industries is likely to report a strong performance for the quarter, helped by a low base a year ago and revival in the oil to chemical operations. The driver for earnings in the September quarter will be the refining business, retail business and telecom operations. Nykaa is looking to launch its public issue on October 28th, according to news reports. The anchor book of up to 2,300 crore rupees will open next Wednesday and the IPO will close on November 1st. The 5,200 crore rupee IPO reportedly seeks a valuation of about $7.4 billion for the company. Paytm is considering not going ahead with a pre-IPO share sale so as to fast-track the IPO timeline, according to news reports. And that's all we have time for. Thank you for listening in. This is your host Rohit signing off. Goodbye and take care.
The Rise with India podcast on ET Now.